Alright, here's another video. This one's gonna be about moving from state to Florida, to a Florida apartment. Now I'm moving from apartment to apartment, so that's not a big deal. But when I was looking to move to Florida, which I'm still in the process, just a few days shy, it was hard finding a video for a lot of help. A lot of the videos that I found were for the houses. A lot of them were outdated, like years ago, 3, 4, 5 years ago. And we know things change, especially in Florida, where there's a lot of tourists. A month from now could be twice as much tourists. A lot of people moving to Florida a lot. Seems like the go-to state from the up north where I'm from. But anyways, so I decided to share some stuff from my experience looking to move to Florida. Now I'm driving over the road right now, trucking, so I could pay for my move. Right now, as you can see, I'm on a terminal, right? Not a terminal, but a distribution center right now, as you can see. I tried to flip it the other way, but it didn't work. So you're gonna have to see my ugly face now in the video. But anyways, a lot of the stuff, I had to do over the road. I had to plan over the road, even though before I went over the road, I already was planning. I went for vacation to Orlando in February of 2017, yeah, for my vacation. Went to vacation, but I was actually looking for apartments and looking how life was down there before I actually moved. It was one of the to-go states for me. Texas is nice, it's beautiful. Phoenix is beautiful. I loved it. I love the layout of Phoenix and stuff like that, but it's way too hot for me. 120 plus or something like that. Is a dry. They call it a dry heat, but that is hot. So Florida seems to be a good fit for me. So I like the weather, I like the environment, I like the Disney area. So yeah, I say area twice. I don't know why, but so I am moving to Central Florida. I already got the apartment and everything. Just waiting a few more days to actually make my move. Go to Connecticut and drive down on my car and stuff like that. That's another video. But anyways, some of the stuff that I encountered while looking for apartments and stuff, I'm gonna share with you guys. I use multiple apps, websites. I use Zillow. I gotta write it down just in case I forgot anything. There's the list right there. I use Zillow, apartments.com, Trulia, rent.com, apartment finder, apartment home living, which actually is very good. I like apartment home living a lot. An apartment list. I did not use just one source. I use multiple sources. I went on YouTube. I check videos on YouTube. I did all the stuff like that. One thing you're gonna do is always, ask a lot of questions. If you call them, ask a lot of questions. If you go there personally, ask a lot of questions. You can tell by the way somebody respond to a question or the way they act and stuff like that, if they're lying about something. So it's better if you do it on person. That way you can see stuff like that. Anybody can lie over the phone. They can tell you whatever you want to hear over the phone. So you want to make sure, you can go in person like I did from my vacation. Go there. I also took 10 days off from my company right here in Florida where I'm moving to. They got a terminal there, so it was easier. And I took my home time there for 10 days, and I look around, I shop around. I rented a car, stayed at a hotel, so I didn't want to stay on the truck for that whole week. And it was farther away too, so I rented a car, got a hotel. I look at every single place that I had written down, and some that I just found just by driving. That's the best way to find apartments, is also by driving. Just drive around, you see signs everywhere. Apartment for rent anywhere. So And remember, this is for apartments, not homes or anything like that. So anyways, but I did I read a lot of reviews from people. A lot of them were stupid stuff. A lot of them were, you read them and you're like, okay, you shouldn't have done that in the first place. But everybody's different. So every 2018, people are sissies nowadays. They complain about every fucking thing nowadays anyways. But well, you want to read reviews from different sources, make sure you see something that is the same thing on different sources. There's something going on right there, you know what I mean? So I use Google Earth. Wanted to look at the area to see how it looked and stuff like that. YouTube the properties by the name of the property. I went on YouTube, found out if they got a video or anything like that, and the pictures also online. But pictures on YouTube videos, they usually made by them. So, but a lot of people post pictures and stuff, and that's better than actually going by the company or the location video, which is they're gonna lie to you anyways. A lot of stuff to think about while moving to Florida. Stuff might be the same in other states. In Connecticut, there's some stuff that are the same, but not all. But one thing that you want to remember is that in Florida, there's an application fee just to apply to the apartment, not to get the apartment, just to apply. It's non-refundable. Can range anything I've seen from $35 to $200. Could be probably $25, probably less, probably more, but it's not refundable. Just to run your background, check your credit, all that stuff. Do you have to pay security deposit? That depends on your credit. I didn't. When they run my credit, thank God that my credit is good, so I didn't have to pay security deposit or anything like that. No first month rent, no last month rent, anything like that, because I got a very good credit. I've never been evicted, anything like that. Pay on time, all that stuff. So thankfully I didn't have to do that, but check to see how much you got to pay for security deposit. Could be from $200 and up. Mine, I think it was like $400, $500 if I had to pay it, but once they run my credit, they were, you don't have to pay nothing. So that's good. You gotta think if you need your first month, last month's rent. Some places they do that. Once again, when I'm moving to, they didn't request any of that, which was good. Wait list. Yeah, you're not the only one moving to Florida, so you gotta think that you have to wait. If you apply to an apartment, they might not have anything available. Remember, you just pay $45, $50 for an application fee. Just find out there's nothing available for when you want to move. So think about that. You gotta let them know when you want to move, and they're gonna tell you if they got something available for that month or anything's gonna open up or anything like that. I would not pay the application fee myself if they don't got nothing available, because that's like giving money away. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't have money to give away. So if they do not have the money, if they don't have the apartment, just keep looking. Give them your phone number. If they got something available for when you want to move, then something that looks sure. Then if you like the place and stuff, give them the application fee. Mine was $75 for the application fee. That was after I saw a model apartment. I saw the property, I saw everything around. I went there personally, so on my 10 days off. So I liked it, fell in love with the place. Once I'm there full time, might be different, but it looked good for what I like, what I was looking. Everybody's different, Everybody comes from different backgrounds, so everybody looks for something different. Some people want to be closer to the city, closer to people. Some people want to be away from people, like me. I'm not too much a people person. Even though they say I'm a people person, I don't consider myself a people person. But anyways, so remember about that wait list. In Florida, they do have something about trash. They usually, a lot of the places that I went to, they do have the trash included in the rent, and also the water. Most of them, if they don't have the water included, they will include it for a small fee, $25 or anything like that. Like where I'm going to, for $25 in the rent, they include the water in it, which is good because moving to Florida, new there, I'm gonna take a lot of showers. So that's something that also you gotta look into. Trash is usually included also with the extermination, because it's hot in Florida all the time. They do have a problem with bugs. That's everywhere. Everywhere I went to, they either have mosquitoes or spiders, lizards, anything. So they do exterminate about twice a month usually. That's why I was told every place that I went to check an apartment. And I went to the Central Florida area, not South Florida, not Northern Florida, and the Central area. From Sanford to Orlando to Kissimmee to Lakeland to Plant City to Tampa to Clearwater. Those are the areas that I wanted to move to. Those are the areas that I went to when I went on vacation. So I like all that area, and that's where I was, looking to move into. Can't move to a perfect apartment at first, especially coming for out of state. You don't know the area, you don't know the people, you don't know anything about anything, you don't know nothing. So you gotta go by what you see online, you gotta go by what you hear, which a lot of people tell you a lot of bad stuff and stuff like that. But you gotta do your own research. A lot of people will tell you lies. Some people tell you, exaggerate the truths. Something that happened years ago. Oh, there's sinkholes in Florida. You go there, you're gonna be swallowed by the earth. Anywhere you go in this country, you're gonna face something. Is it gonna be blizzards to tornadoes to hurricanes to sinkholes to earthquakes? Anywhere you go in this country, United States, you're gonna face some kind of natural disaster kind of thing. So you just gotta choose which one you wanna deal with. I take hurricanes and sinkholes over blizzards and freaking freezing weather, all that stuff. Freaking high taxes, freaking Connecticut, all that stuff. But anyways, yeah, you gotta think about that. Do you have assigned parking? Does the unit have assigned parking? Or a lot of the reviews you're gonna read about are about there's no parking in this facility. You gotta park far away from your apartment, and you gotta walk a long way. That sucks, especially if you got groceries. So that's something that you gotta look into. Where I'm going to, they do not have assigned parking, so it's gonna be one of those first come first serve. Am I gonna park in the front of the apartment or far away? I don't know. Some places do offer garage for a small fee. You can get a garage to cover your apartment, but not to your car. But anyways, most places they only allow one car. You got more than one, you gotta park in the visitors area, or you gotta pay extra. I don't know, but you gotta also find that out. It's a gated community. Just because it's gated doesn't mean it's safer. Remember that. Is it gated or not? Do you like gated communities? You don't like gated communities, that's up to you. Do they have washer and dryer included? Some places do, some places don't. Where I am, they do have it. You gotta pay a small fee for it. They do have the hookup for it. If you have your own, you can bring them. Obviously I don't have them, so I'm gonna be renting from them because they do not have a laundry facility on site. So I'm gonna have to go somewhere. So I might either be renting or going to the laundromat. So all depends what you want to do. All depends what they offer. They might offer laundry in the facility, they might not. So that's something you got to think about. So what else? Right there. I can see it right there. It's going to that parking space over there, but one thing that I'm not a like a people person where I like to hang out outside and stuff like that. I'm more of a home person. So I look for specifics when I look for an apartment. I don't like trouble. That's why I was trying to. I don't like drama. That's what I was trying to get to. I do not like drama. I do not like bochinche, people talking shit and other stuff. I like to keep to myself and stuff like that. So if you're like that, you gotta look at the neighborhood. You gotta look at where I come from. Abandoned cars. Look at the neighbors. Do you see police cars standing around? That's garbage on the streets. That would tell you a lot about the property. That would tell you a lot about the surroundings. If it is bad neighborhood, good neighborhood. Maybe you like being in the ghetto. Who knows? Kissimmee is good for that. Part of Kissimmee is good for that. For what I seen when I went there. If you like that, then be on the ghetto. You're gonna find really cheap apartments there. Anything. When I was there, I found anything from $500 to $1,500. And so what you want, what you can afford, what you want to get. You're first in Florida, doesn't hurt. Getting a cheap one. But the cheaper the apartment, they usually about a lot of reviews about police activity and drugs and all that kind of stuff that I want to stay away from. I just came from Connecticut, from all that crap in New Haven, so I don't want to go to the same crap down there if I can avoid it. No, I do not use drugs or anything like that, but a lot of people did around me and stuff like that. Well, look at the surroundings. Talk to the neighbors if you can, if they're willing to talk. Read reviews, all that stuff. If you're short on money, make month. That way you don't have to pay a full rent for the first month. You save a few $100s there. Ask about on the property. Ask about what's the average electric bill. It runs about for that apartment. Usually they have a round number. They can tell you. Gotta remember, where you came from, how much electricity you pay for. If it is just you, 2 people, 3 people, you gotta think of all that stuff. How much showers you guys take, food, TVs, computers, all that stuff. You got to think about all that. You should have an idea already coming from whatever state that you're coming from, how much your electric bill was before for the size of the apartment. Talking about the size, they do go by size in Florida. Everything is by square footage. So you have a 530 square footage apartment. There's usually a base price for that. Usually ranges anywhere. That's a small apartment. I think mine is 800 or 900 square footage. I forgot already. But it's a bigger apartment. They do have high ceilings. A lot of apartments that I went to, I was like thinking how in the hell I'm gonna bring furniture in there. They were so tiny. But that's something that you gotta think about. Read the square footage on every site that you go to. Read the square footage, so you have an idea. Once you see one apartment about 700 square footage, and you see other apartments on the list, you have an idea how big that apartment is gonna be. So that's something also, to think about. The square footage. I didn't have it write it down, but I just remember about that. Something completely forgot about that. Is cable included? Usually not, but is cable? Do they allow satellites? A lot of the places they do not allow satellites, so you're gonna have to go with cable. Down in Florida is Spectrum. I think is the biggest. Could be wrong, but that's where I'm moving. That's the only choice that I had. That's something that I did not ask when I went to see the apartment, because I was used to back north. For the electric and cable, you got choices. For the electric, I think we had 2, UI and the other one. And for cable, we had Comcast, which is Xfinity. We had Dish Network. We had DirecTV. They offer Dish Network, they offer satellite TV. Down where I am, the apartment, there's only one electric company, so I have no choice, and there's only one cable that is rated for the apartment complex. So that's something I did not ask about, and that's something that I found out after I paid the fees and stuff like that, which is not a big deal, but I like to have choices. If I don't like this cable company, I want to go with another one. Right now I'm only stuck with one cable company, one electric company. So thankfully the electric bill, they tell me, runs very low, like 50 to 60 a month, which is nothing. I was paying 130 back home. So, and cable was also cheap. They do have for the apartment complex, they got a guy that actually gives you a deal, which is not actually a deal, but I already checked online. But they actually basically, you just avoid some fees and stuff like that. But that's something that you would want to ask, which I didn't, and now I'm paying for it. Not really, but I like choices. I like choices. Pets is a big thing down in Florida. They usually only run for cats and dogs, so you want to ask how much. It goes, I think, by pounds. So you want to ask what's the pet policy. Do they allow pets? How much is the deposit? Which usually about $100, $150, $200 I seen. You also got to pay monthly for having your pets in your apartment. So that's something that you want to ask when you get in your apartment. Somebody just parked next to me. Very, very important. A lot of these places, apartment complexes down south, down in Florida, they do have pools, they do have gyms. So you're into that, you want to ask if they got pools, they got gyms. That's up to you. You want to do that, not washer and dryer, dishwasher, all that stuff. Those are fancy stuff, for lazy people. But one thing that they do require in Florida for the apartments is rental insurance, usually about coverage for $100,000 in damages. So that's something that you gotta check with your car insurance company. They offer it. Mine was very cheap for the whole month, for the whole year, so I paid just once. But most places, I think every place that I went to, they do require rental insurance. Usually minimum is $100,000. So that's something that you need to check, because back up north they do not require that. Also, some might require flood insurance. Check your area, check the news, check the sites to see if your area is known for flooding. You want to get a first apartment, second apartment, and also flooding can come from your upstairs neighbors. Something breaks, so you want to get flood insurance. That's up to you. I don't. Moving to a first floor, so hopefully my second story neighbor doesn't have nothing bad going up there and decides to send all that water my way, but hopefully. But I think the rental insurance does cover some flood insurance, so that's something that you want to ask your rental insurance provider all those questions too. What does it cover, especially for flooding? Remember, Florida does get hurricanes. It rains a lot in Florida. Not in the winter months for us up north, but for the summer months they do get a lot of rain. So you want to make sure you're in a good area also when you choose that apartment. For the cars, talking about that, for the cars, one thing that they do require in Florida is uninsured coverage. People in Florida, they do not actually have insurance and stuff like that. A lot of people, they drive with no insurance, and it's different in Florida when it comes to every other state. Basically, you see cars that looks like they're about to fall apart, they're still running in Florida, so they do not have inspections in Florida for the cars. So you pretty much, if they got wheels and it can move on the highway, you can actually drive on the highway. I've seen some cars, I was like, wow, if they see you in Connecticut, they will pull your ass over, they will tow your fucking car or whatever it is that you're driving. So you do need uninsured coverage for yourself, protect yourself, So that's something about the car insurance that you gotta remember. Hopefully I cover everything. This is everything that I went through getting the apartment. Like I said, I took 10 days off from my company. I parked the truck in the terminal. I just rented a car, rented a hotel room. I stayed there, moved around, I checked, I found some that I had on the list. Once I got to the location, I was like, I will not even think about moving here. It was ghetto, and violence ghetto. I pulled to the gas station once, and probably for about 25 minutes looking for apartments in that area, and there was probably about 4 or 5 cars going by, police cars going by the gas station. I actually asked one of the cops, how's the crime rate out here? He just laughed at first, and he's like, yeah, it's a little high. You moving to here or anything like that? He's like, yeah, I'm looking for apartments out of state. He's like, I suggest you look a little bit south of here if you don't want any trouble. There's a lot of robberies and stuff like that. So, ask around, ask the people, drive around. You get to see a lot when you're driving around. Also, the apps will not show you every single apartment. So, and they do change by day. The fees and stuff, they do change also. So check with the apartments on a regular basis while you're still looking for one. Also drive around, do like I did, park on a location and just look for anything within 2 miles of that location or anything like that. It will give you a lot more apartments that your initial search. So, and if you can see a mock apartment, sample apartment, whatever they want to call it, go see it. Some place they will show you the apartment that you're going to move to. Some place they will show you they have one ready just for people to come and buy and see. Check open houses, check all that, just to make sure you can find something that you're comfortable with. Your first year you usually run for 12 months leases. You do less, you got to pay more. That's everywhere. So you want a 6-month lease, you got to pay more. There's also Airbnb. I do not know too much about that. You can do roommate situation, which I did not want to do, but you can do roommates. That's another. Just some other issues right by themselves right there. But there's a lot of choices to move down south when it comes to apartments. Stay with family. Yeah. I do have family that recently moved down there, but they do have families of their own too. They got babies and stuff like that. So I'm the kind of person I don't like bothering people, because I like to be free to go, be in and out as I please. When I'm somebody's house, you gotta respect the rules and stuff like that. I don't like being like that. I do not like being in a situation where I have to think before I do something. I'm not saying that my family is like that, but family is family. But I like to be free. I like to come and go as I please and stuff like that, not to bother anybody. So that was an option that I was thinking about, staying with them and stuff like that. But like I said, I like to be free. So, but I did my research. I went there on vacation for, I think it was 7 days. Look around, culture or everything like that. Something about Central Florida is that it's mixed. Just like where I'm coming from Connecticut, where you have people from all over the world there. It's Disney, so you're gonna have people from all over the world there. They go for vacation, then they decide to stay. So that's something, if you're used to one ethnic group in your community or anything like that, that's not gonna be down there in Central Florida. Other parts of Florida maybe, but not in Central Florida near Disney. However, so that's something. I don't mind the bugs. I grew up in the countryside, so I like bugs, lagartijos, lizards, all that stuff. So that doesn't bother me. A lot of people move there. Oh my God, there's a lot of lizards everywhere. There's bugs everywhere, mosquitoes everywhere. It's a tropical place, so you're gonna have to deal with that. I thought they was gonna do something, but yeah, just here waiting for them to finish emptying my truck so I can get the heck out of here, go to Florida, and catch a plane back home so I can start my move. So that's what I'm waiting for. But for now, do your research, read reviews, watch videos, pictures, ask questions. If you don't ask, they're not gonna tell you. So ask a lot of questions. Anything that you need to know. You already got an apartment, I hope. So you should know what to look for, what you want, what you didn't like about it. You're not gonna find that perfect apartment, especially when you're coming from out of state, which you don't know anything about. You might stay there for a year, then move to another place, which is hopefully my plan. Go there once I'm there for a year. Find other places to move to. Or if I like it that much, I stay there. Who knows? But you cannot know everything coming from out of state. It's impossible. You cannot go by what people tell you. You gotta go there and live it by yourself. So with that being said, I'm gonna leave you guys so you can post this video, and hopefully this answers a lot of questions that you guys may have about apartments in Florida, Central Florida. For now, just like I said, read reviews, do a lot of reviews, check online, different sources, not the same one. Check the news for crimes and stuff. You get kids, the schools and stuff. There's a guy that I follow here. He goes by the name of Florida Suburban Dad. I subscribed to him a month and a half ago. He does answers a lot. He did answer many questions that I had about Florida, stuff that I didn't even think about Florida. He covers a lot of the stuff. He been there for 5 years now, and he's very knowledgeable about Florida, Central Florida. So you want to check him out. I'm going to try to put the link on the bottom on the description. He goes by the name of Florida Suburban Dad. He's great. He's a great guy to follow here on YouTube, especially if you're planning to move to Florida. If you're thinking about moving to Florida and you watch his videos, you're gonna be moving to Florida. He's that good. You should run for mayor or something. Yeah, Jay, I said it. You should run for mayor. But check him out. He's been there for 5 years, so he knows pretty much everything. Stuff that you think about, stuff that you may not think about. You're a homeowner, you're going to buy a house in Florida, he's the person to look at because he's renting a house down there. So you may want to check his channel out. There's also others, but he's the main one. Every time one of his videos come out, go and check it. I write down so many notes from his videos about entertainment, what to do down in Florida, from everything, from lifestyles to everything. I can't wait to be there and check some of the places myself. But until next time, just check reviews and all that stuff. Until next time, the next video.